it over to the casting panel.
Why,
hey
hello
guys.
there.
Hey, how's it doing? How'd you get over here?
I don't know. I'm very quick on my feet, Kevin.
That must be it. Okay.
Well, without any further ado, Orange Esports versus Zenith. Game 1 of this best of 2. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I'm really actually pumped to watch these teams. I haven't watched Orange live in a while, and Zenith as well. Similar to you, I haven't actually caught one of their games in quite a bit, so I'm a little less sure how Group B is going to go. Group A looked a little bit easier to pick, but after everything was all said and done, the standings were all over the place, so I can't wait to see what happens in Group B. I think it could also just kind of go crazy as well.
Yeah, we'll see. Orange Esports, they go for the Visage here now. Extinct, I believe, is 13-1 or 12-1 on this hero, something like that. And it's been given away by Zenith. Zenith is a team who's not afraid to give you your favorite heroes. If they have a strategy in mind, they'll often do very clowny, even ridiculous drafts, but there's always a method to their madness. This game looking pretty standard. We'll see the Darks here, Gyro. Big AoE team fight.
Yep. Vacuum is obviously going to be great. Call down oftentimes is a little bit less appreciated for its AoE, but it is extremely capable for that. But other than that, seen an OD ban actually a little surprising. It's a hero that I don't see many other teams other than like what is their name? Oh, Quantic. That's right. Now Quantic pick OD a lot, but apparently Orange. Did they ever work that into their drafts?
The OD, we've seen Orange Esports. Mushi's taken it mid. He's been an absolute beast on this hero. I think he's 7-1 on OD all time, and even the game he lost, I'm pretty sure he was kicking a lot of ass and taking names. So not really surprised to see the ban. It's like Blitz was saying yesterday, barely anyone beats this hero mid. It's very hard to deal with OD 1v1. That's where you need to roam, you need to gank, and well, if you're doing that, it frees up the other heroes on the team to get a lot of farm and experience.
Yeah, definitely one of those heroes that's just simply not fun to play against, honestly. There's very few heroes in Dota that are like that, but OD is definitely one of them. So Luna's going to be the carry pickup for Orange here. So they have a Luna hard carry, Sand King, possibly support, and Visage as well, actually. So they pretty much got their tri-lane already set up here. So that's going to make counter banning a little bit easier, but luckily for them, most of the banning has gone through. There's only one ban left over for Zenith here, and they're going to be picking their next hero up in just a second.
Yeah, let's see what they go for. I mean, you look at this draft, Orange Esports go back for the Luna. It's something that they were running a lot when Mushi was on the one position, but we haven't seen it lately. It's not a hero I've seen KYXY playing. I'm sure he's capable of it, but not really the strongest 1v1 hero. Does pretty well against Darkseer. If you pull a regen, you can get early Tranquil Boots, and it's hard for him to actually drive you out of lane. She can last hit well under tower. We'll see if they go aggressive tri-lane. Sand King Visage. Orange has been favoring the aggressive tri-lanes. Windrunner is often the farmer. We've seen Ohio playing some sensational Windrunner as of late, but it gets banned out here.
Yeah, always fun to see shackle shots happen. And Luna really was kind of a dominant carry at points in time where people just want to do really early pushes. Once you get Eclipse up, your solo kill potential is actually pretty huge. And Zenith is not currently working with any kind of summons or illusions. Well, they'll have illusions with Darkseer, I guess. That could eat Eclipses pretty well, but as a whole, Luna is just really, really great for lane control, great damage output. She's actually a great carry against Darkseer because she has so much base damage that she can deny the creeps pretty easily, and all around just really solid carry. So fun to see Luna be squeezed in occasionally rather than just always like Gyrocopter Alchemist.
I love this Earthshaker pick for Zenith. That is, you do not want a 5-man against this. Fissure, call down, vacuum, wall. How do you win that fight? I mean, seriously. You just cannot fight 5v5 against that.
You could get a huge advantage before they get to team fight, and then, but that's oftentimes easier said than done. But if you can actually get a big lane advantage and then get more EXP and gold than your opponents, then pushing is less scary, especially before Earthshaker gets a Blink Dagger. When he gets a Blink Dagger, or if Darkseer can actually vacuum the people onto the Earthshaker, then things get really, really scary at that point. So they're going to have to be careful in the team fight, that's for sure.
And Orange go for a Nature's Prophet here. Now, we've seen them play this two main ways. One is Mushi solo mid, which is very unusual for anyone to run a Prophet mid. We do see it on occasion. He'll get a bottle, he'll teleport to control the runes, and he'll gank a lot early. Gets a quick level 6 off of it. The other way is the Sacrificial Lamb Ohio style, where he goes off lane solo, they run a defensive tri-lane, and he just uses treants to constantly block the pull camps. He'll put a treant at the Magic Bush, he'll put another treant in the third camp, and basically block all 3 Radiant camps that are sort of west of the small camp, west of the middle lane, or east rather.
That's really cool.
Directions are difficult.
We saw LGDN doing the same thing.
I need a compass.
Not exactly the same, of course, but Brax is doing a lot of offlane solo last night with Nature's Prophet. Be able to pull treants and force pretty good solo EXP on him, and then he could actually globally TP and go for ganks and things like that, which is really effective. So.
And I said, for XY, I took a little bit of a liberty with this card. I put 3 Tinkers. No surprises here. It's not banned. They'll pick that up, so we'll most likely see the XY solo mid Tinker. They have another Tinker player. It is X-Freedom, but he almost always plays the 4 position for this particular team. So, well, you look at Zenith. Dare I say it, this lineup is looking cheesy. It's just such a good defensive lineup, such a good stall the game lineup, and if it goes late enough, I think Orange is going to have a lot of trouble winning this game at the 40-50 minute mark, unless they're very far ahead.
Yeah, on the bright side, Sand King is a pretty good teamfight support, so once he grabs a Blink Dagger of his own, he's equivalent to Earthshaker in a lot of ways. He can do a ton of AoE magic damage, so they will have some options in the late game. Visage is okay in the late game as well for AoE stuns, but Luna can also farm really fast as well, so it's not like Gyrocopter's necessarily like a beast farming master in front of what Luna can do. So, and Nature's Prophet, same situation. If they do go late, they can at least pressure all the lanes using Nature Prophet ultimate as well as doing split pushing. So I think both teams do have some tactics that they can abuse here, but I just right off the bat hate any team that picks Tinker, because March of the Machines is like one of the most annoying skills to watch.
Zenith should be ashamed of themselves, but they have no shame. Ice has proven that to us many a time.
So sure, he's not even wearing pants right now.
Yeah, he'll go for the Tinker here, no surprise. Hopefully he's at least wearing boxers for his team's sake. But Beastmaster, the final pick for RNG Sports, that'll be, I guess, I'm feeling like an off-lane Beastmaster, a solo mid-prophet. It could be a Mushi Beastmaster, but I don't know that I've ever seen him play the hero.
Well,
and it's not, you know, we've talked a lot about this in the past, Purge, is Mushi just doesn't seem as comfortable on those sort of melee ganker, you know, team fight controllers. He seems much better on the snowball heroes, the Queen of Pain, the Templar Assassin, the OD heroes like that. When you put him on a Beastmaster, a Magnus, well, it can be dicey, but they'll actually give him the Luna. Wow. So maybe we'll see the roles switch up a bit this game.
Interesting. Yeah, so it's going to be a Luna. We can see Lunas played in the mid lane sometimes, but I don't really expect that to be the case here, especially because Prophet and Beastmaster, neither one's going to fit into a tri-lane. So I'm guessing somebody else is just going to go mid because he doesn't want to play Beastmaster and or Nature's Prophet. So.
Yeah, again, I kind of like this because I think Mushi is more comfortable on heroes like who benefit a lot from farm. Beastmaster does, but you have to prioritize ganking and map control first. The farm comes as a result of that. You don't sit in AFK farm for the entire game. So Zenith, they'll go back for a final pick, Chen, and that completes their draft. Oh boy, this is a very strong defensive lineup, and obviously the offensive power will be there later on, but my goodness, with the Chen pick, this is very greedy. I mean, they have an Earthshaker 5 position hero who really wants a Blink Dagger if the game goes later, and you look at the rest of their draft, Tinker needs a lot of levels in farm. Yep. Same for the Gyro. The Darkseer will find it, but Zenith do not want to fight too much early.
Yep, they definitely don't want to. But they can actually take towers pretty easily using Chen. They have pushing possible if needed, especially if it's an off-lane Nature's Prophet or even Beastmaster. They can pull the creeps past, but they can't really kill the creeps very fast, is the only problem.
Ice taking some liberties here and assigning warnings to the teams. Oh, you troll. I love this. I love Ice.
Yeah, if you guys don't understand why we're making fun of him, he is seriously like one of the weirdest guys, but very funny guy. A lot of talk, as Blitz said, but he can definitely back it up. This guy is so good at Dota. One of the best in the world, probably. I think he used to be one of the best Han players.
In terms of just his raw mechanics, I think he's pretty unparalleled. I don't think I could point a player and say that guy has better mechanics than Ice.
Yeah, he's pretty sick. And my pants.
His decision making.
Yeah, man. He doesn't like playing Dota with pants on. I wasn't kidding. Like, at TI2. He would I remember they were about to play a match, and the group stage was at the Valve offices, and he came out of the room that their team was playing. He came to the kitchen where all the food was, and he grabbed a drink out of the refrigerator in his boxers. So he walked out of the building, or out of the room, came all the way to the kitchen where everybody was, just to grab a drink.
You know, in some states that might be illegal, Kevin.
It was pretty close.
It's a lot of skin to show.
I would be scared of something slipping out, you know?
Well, enough of the entendres here. We'll move along and introduce our teams. On the side of the Radiant, we have Team Zenith. You're seeing a mostly Singaporean squad. They used to be all Singaporean. They do now have 2 Malaysians mixing things up for them. Ice. He's your captain. He's your leader for the squad. He'll be playing the Darkseer XY on his signature Tinker. Ice going to be handling the Earthshaker X-Freedom on the Chen. And last but not least, we have NWP, but better known to folks and fans around the world as Yamate.
All right, cool. So that's the Radiant Team Zenith. For the Dire Team Orange, we've got Neo SX is going to be playing Visage, Mula Luna. We've got Net playing the Sand King. Also got KYXY on the Beastmaster, and the last player is going to be O.
So it'll be the Sacrificial Lamb Prophet then. And we're going to see Ohio just constantly spam trance, send them into the enemy jungle. He probably will sit at level 1 to 3 for the first 5 to 8 minutes of this game. And that's okay, because he slows down the enemy support so much, And you look at Zenith's lineup, they have a Darkseer and a Chen. Potentially they have 2 heroes who need to use the jungle, and then Earthshaker would maybe want to do some pulling. If you can shut down their jungle game early, Zenith are really going to be crippled come mid-game because they are, again, very level and farm dependent.
And I like what Orange is considering doing here. They're thinking about putting an Observer Ward to block the Ancient Camp. At the very least, they baited things out. I mean, he was looking at Ice, 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 making him think that maybe he was going to do this, but they actually decide against it. So the Ancient stacking will be a possibility for the raiding team, and we'll probably see XY just meander over there in between the wave pushes. Yeah,
it's really nice to be on the Radiant side as Tinker for this, because it's a much shorter trip, and you can combine it with checking the top rune. It's a very safe trip as well, at least for the early game. And you look at RNG Sports, the one concern I have for them is they have a Visage Sandcane, which is fantastic heroes once they get levels, but they're not really the best smoke anchors. So Tinker shouldn't really be under too much pressure for like the first 5 to 8 minutes, and could get a very fast pair of boots to travel unless he gets ganked.
Yeah, the Burrow Strike range is very, very low. It's the main limiter coming out of Burrow Strike, and what basically makes Sandking kind of a crappy hero as an early support. But if they can land Burrow Strike and follow that up with a Grave Chill or a Soul Assumption, it could be a pretty easy kill on Tinker, as he is fairly squishy. And he really doesn't have very much threat of dying at all until at least Beastmaster hits 6, so it should be an okay lane for him. He's a little limited on base damage, but he does have the range advantage.
So you can see how much Zenith is prioritizing this jungle game. X-Freedom has used, I believe now, 2 Holy Persuasions on Treants, just to try and...
Wow.
You can't kill 2 in time, so he'll persuade 1 and then look to kill the other. Now he's looking to even stack the jungle camps, hoping for a wild can spawn, I believe. And is he going to get one? Actually, he blocked the camp. It was a little bit late for the double spawn, so won't get it off. And end of the day, Ohio has not been entirely effective, but he's forcing the Chen to spend a lot of time just getting rid of the Treants, which is time Chen is not farming or ganking.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal that things like a stack doesn't work out, because it is going to limit his EXP gain. Considering he's been a minute 20 into the game and he hasn't killed any creeps yet, it does hinder things by quite a bit. So the Treants are pulling the creep camps around. They might even right-click the Chen. Yep, that is what's going to happen here. Not often you see this combat going on in the jungle, but...
Ohio is being a real pain in the ass for X-Freedom right now.
He is getting some EXP as the wave has pushed forward, though, so luckily his earlier tactics have been effective. The creep wave is going to push in. He's going to get some much-needed EXP. Gyrocopter can pressure this and try to get in range for a Rocket Barrage, but it'll be very unlikely that we see him get a kill.
Yeah, and even if Ohio doesn't hit any of these creeps, end of the day, he's getting experience, and that's really what Prophet needs. You want to hit level 6 as soon as possible, and it looks like he should be able to. The other lane I really want to keep an eye on is the mid lane for XY. Tinker versus Beastmaster. Generally a lane where Tinker can do a lot of harassment early on, but the axe spam is pretty annoying. He gets his bottle up now. They haven't managed to stack the Ancients yet, but Ice, 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 still level 1, no experience for him. And again, Kevin, where does he go? Because he can go into the jungle, but that's precious farm needed for Ice as well as potentially the Chen. And we'll see if Ohio continues to block these camps. We'll send out another Treant Scout, and clearly is up to his old tricks.
Well, on the bright side, the Chen doesn't have to focus on small camps at all, so he can take that very easy. That's usually the one that Darkseer is going to aim for regardless. He can kill this small camp twice in the next 30 seconds or so, pick up a level 2, and then probably safely go back to the top lane, because the only threat really is Lucent Beam setting up a stun, following up with a Sand King nuke, and then the Soul Assumption. So as long as he can stay away from the first disable, he will be able to survive. But most likely for now, he needs to be able to get at least level 2 before he can safely go to this lane.
Yeah, I'd like to see Ohio just continue to send Treants into the jungle, but right now he's out of mana, which is why we don't see it. And end of the day, it's a free farm Gyrocopter for Zenith, 19-6 for Yamate. Your mid lane is not quite free farm for XY, but he's 15-4, getting close to it. Those 2 heroes really need a lot, and they need the fast boots of travel, especially on the Tinker, and they're on track for it now. Earthshaker's not getting much, but hey, if he's a walking fissure at 10 minutes in, that's still a very useful contributor to your team.
Yeah, man, this is an 8-second block, I guess. The fissure's super long now, so it works out effectively. They do some counter push on Luna as well. She doesn't have that much HP regen, and Ice, Ice, Ice gets here at the perfect time, actually, just shifting over right when all the EXP gets there. So they're going to spread things out. The Ice dual lane is in effect, and Darkseer's going to get some EXP out of this. They could hypothetically pressure Mushi right now, but he is tangoing back up.
It's going to be, like you mentioned, the Darkseer's fine as long as he doesn't get caught by that initial Burrow Strike. But when you hit, say, level 3 in Sandcane, if you manage to get your boots, which he does have up now, you can get in range for that Burrow. Unless Ice, Ice, Ice has his hero position absolutely perfectly, most likely to the maximum left side or western side of that lane. And now they're stacking Ancients. XY, he is leveling up March. He's maxi at first. Zenith, they love their split push. They love their cheese. They love their annoying tactics. We'll see Ohio in a little bit of trouble here, bottom lane.
Yep, the troll did do a net here. Actually, he's getting sprouted now. Will Beastmaster be able to take this out? He's got a level 3 on Axes. He's staying quite a while. Axes come through, farming skeletons regardless, but 2 hits on Freedom before he goes down. There's a boots advantage here, and that's going to be the first blood, actually. A little bit of aggressiveness out of Chen to try to pick off the Nature's Prophet who TP'd in, but he makes the play. Really, really nicely done there. You
know, I mentioned Zenith at times they're a little bit cocky. That's pretty cocky to be diving a Prophet that far.
Yeah.
You have no idea where the Beastmaster is, and, well, he pays.
Yep, no boots advantage there, so Chen ends up feeding the first blood. A pretty big mistake there. But it has brought the Nature's Prophet from the bot lane, I guess, but he wasn't really doing a whole lot anyway. So we just saw the Sand King. I always get Skeleton King and Sand King messed up. But
the SK.
Yes,
Can't
he
go wrong
has
there.
checked the Ancients, so he does see how many stacks there are, so they wanted to just confirm that that is indeed happening. I'm a little surprised they didn't word this, though, because it's a mid-tinker.
Right.
He's going to stack. It's going to happen, but apparently they don't want to spend the gold on it.
It's kind of hard to contest it, though, because if you try to go and deward that and Earthshaker's there, gets you with a nice fissure, you can be in a lot of trouble. So I wouldn't have mind seeing them maybe put a sentry down, but again, Observer Wards, you only start with 2 at level 1 in the new patch, so
yeah. It would take a sentry.
You want to make sure that you only use a sentry there, and not going to last quite as long. But if you don't slow him down now, problem is they have 2 heroes who can farm these, the Gyro as well as the Tinker. It'll probably be Tinker early on, but even if the Tinker is in a little bit of trouble, Gyro can come in during the fight with Calldown, and that's just a precious resource for Zenith. And right now, despite that death on X Freedom, they're leading in terms of gold. They're slightly down experience, but I think Zenith is 100% fine. If this game is even remotely close through the laning stage, they're in fantastic shape.
Yeah, that's a really good point there. So CS is great for Gyro. Is this real life? 550 and he's got 44 CS already? Holy crap.
Yamate is good at killing creeps.
Some of those have got to be Treants, but still, that's ridiculous. This is like my 9-minute mark if I'm doing kind of okay.
It looks like a lot of them. Oh, no, actually, Beastmaster got the first blood. So, yeah, he's actually quite far ahead. He's ahead by 6 CS, or actually 12 CS over the Tinker, and then you look at net worth, and he's even farther ahead than that, 200, 300 gold. So even if a fewer Treants, a lot are just regular creeps. He's farming really well, and they'll start to put some pressure on this top lane. It is the Inner Beast build from KOXY, and I like this a lot because for them, the priority is to get map control. You don't want to have Tinker having his tier 2s up. Once his Boots of Travel are online, the tier 1s, the tier 2s become very hard to take. You have to fight into March. That's where you need something like a pipe, and who's going to build that early on? Nobody's really getting that level of gold. So Orange, I like this. Strike while the iron's hot. Maximize your push potential now, because whatever you don't get now, it's going to be a lot harder to get it later.
And this is the point where you do push. You've got a Ring of Basilius, you've got some HP regen on Luna, and she's got level 6 most importantly. Any enemy hero that comes between her and a solo Eclipse is just going to die really, really easily. So they can push this. They also put an ice ward up. This is going to cover them from any roaming that comes from the side jungle, and hopefully for Luna she can escape from that.
They're hunting the Tinker. They smoke up, they rotate mid. They know the Boots of Travel are coming fairly soon for XY, and they also maybe just want to catch him farming Ancients, but they won't do that. Instead, actually, I think KOXY walked too close to this tower mid. Smoke gets dispelled for him, and they may still make a go here at top.
Yeah, as long as they didn't go to the low ground, the tower didn't spot them, but they're probably trying to figure out, do they really want to try to kill Ice at the moment?
Yeah,
and since
the Tinker's the one you really want.
Yeah, that's true. He did go Soul Ring. He picked up a Soul Ring now, so that delays his overall Boots of Travel. But
bottom lane. Ohio's in trouble. There's a call down here, but he's able to get out. The fissure from Ice actually blocked himself as well as Yamate away. Well, it is a double-edged sword at times. And now in the jungle, XY on the run. Net giving chase, but Net gets netted up. How appropriate. And is driven back in the end.
They were almost able to catch him there. They did swing all the way around the jungle and come through here, but the Tinker was able to spot them out and get out of there just in time. Really, really close. And a perfect example, if Sand King was level 5 there, he would have had the extra range and he would have been able to initiate. And maybe they would have gotten the kill there, but he ends up evading it and his CS stays at 41, so he's going to be really happy about this.
The one thing I really love from Orange is this Observer Ward in the mid lane, in between the tier 1s and tier 2s, because if Tinker goes to farm Ancients and he's being safe, normally he'll come up this hill and run towards the Ancients that way. Running the other way is okay if your team's there or if you know the enemy team's elsewhere, but it's a bit risky to run so close towards the rune spawn. So they will most likely see him rotate. Actually, I spotted this and will deward it. That is some great map awareness from him.
Yeah, we might have a gank on the bot lane. Beastmaster's halfway through an Invis rune. He's got Roar. He's got a point booster picked up as well, and this attack speed is going to help a lot with Nature's Prophet. If he comes back to the lane, he's going to be in trouble, but he's actually completely hightailing it back, sitting at 600 HP. I don't know if they spotted him grabbing that invisibility rune, but he's going all the way back to base. He just knows something's up.
Yeah, top lane's pushing into the tower. Mushi is farming it there. I guess it just felt a little suspicious, right? Because Beastmaster off the map, he's the one hero who you know is going to be trying to make things happen. And when you show those supports mid, normally the supports are mid because the Beastmaster is off ganking. So good map awareness from Zenith and good rotation back.
So XY is about to finish up on dragons and get back to the base. He still has to get the big ones, so we'll have to come back in a second to finish that, but it is going to accelerate his gold growth. There's the Eclipse coming through. Ice gets picked off. Mushi able to score the kill. So 4 levels of Lucent Beam for him and 3 levels of Lunar Blessing. Pretty good pickup there. So 61 CS for him. That should put him on the top of the charts. And it's a 2-0 for Orange at the moment. So really good start for them.
Smoke gank from Orange. They're going to rotate towards the bottom lane. I want to mention quickly, Tinker did farm most of the Ancients. He's got to go back once to clear out the big dragons and one of the last ones. But if he completes those, he'll be maybe 100 or 200 gold away from his Boots of Travel. Very close.
There will be
TP
some
down bottom
spot.
lane.
Yeah, will they dive on this? Most likely they have Treants in position. They don't actually have the Hawk, unfortunately, so they can't scout out things. Here comes the Roar on NWP. Does get the call down, though, and Ice doing everything he can. Net's going to get the Burrow Strike off, and the nukes go through. Gyro is going to fall, and there's the Sprout actually keeping Net blocked in with him. A little bit of a mistake there, but Ice is going to buy before he goes down. But regardless, 2 dead heroes. There's the Fissure. Ice trying to fall, but he actually doesn't have mana for 30 seconds. That was way too aggressive for him. Axes come through perfect. Scores the kill, and now Ohio in trouble. He's running for his life. Laser picks it up, and now a March of the Machines, and that is the cue for Orange to back up. They cannot fight in that, but overall, great pickup. 3 dead heroes for just 1.
Wow. They dove into a gyrocopter ultimate. They took pretty much all the damage. The one big factor was Tinker didn't have a TP scroll. If XY was there and they were marching, they were dropping marches while Orange was diving, that fight would have been completely different. But he was trying to finish his Boots of Travel. The Ancients are not dead yet. He wasn't able to farm them during this time. He'll have the Boots of Travel now. And if you're Zenith, they didn't lose a tower. End of the day for Zenith, it's not great to trade kills like that. They now trail, or to give up kills like that. They now trail by 1,500 gold. Pretty even in terms of experience, but I think it's okay for them to come out slightly behind in these engagements. The key thing is get your Boots of Travel up and get some good Observer Wards up. Just limit the Beastmaster's gank. I would really like to see them just turtle. They don't have to force fights. If they take it late enough, RNG Sports with a minimal gold advantage are going to be hard-pressed to take the fights.
Yep, but Boots of Travel is finished now on Tinker. His levels are pretty good as well, at level 9, so he did get a kill out of the fight, so that's kind of nice. It'll accelerate his farm a bit, and now he'll probably look to just stack and kill Ancients, farm all the lanes, push them out, and pressure them. And he's going to counteract the Nature's Prophet pretty good for a while here, at least until Nature's Prophet gets some kind of disable.
Speaking of that Prophet, Ohio is being cheeky once again, using the chance to try to scout out the Ancients. Unfortunately, they won't be able to get here in time to stop this, so that'll be about 500 additional gold going his way. And for Zenith, this is where you just play split push. Darkseer in one lane, Gyro in another, Tinker in a third, and the Earthshaker Chen moving behind them. Mushi might get caught. Bottom lane. It looks like Fissure's there, call down as well. But he runs south, he dodges away from it. The Rocket Barrage drives him into the tree line. Now he's isolated. Ohio brings in a little bit of help in the form of his tree friends, but it won't be enough. Mushi's going to fall. Now Yamate trying to TP out. The ambushers have become the ambush. Now it's Aurora on X Freedom, holding him in place. Is he going to drop? He's still alive. Vacuum the other way. KYXY driven back. Ohio forced to TP out. What a topsy-turvy fight. The Rocket's coming out. KYXY sticks up in the last, or actually no. I guess, yeah, did magic stick up in the last second. Gets away in the end. Buyback from Sandcade, and, well, seems a little bit unnecessary. Net not able to do anything there.
Oh, it's a really early buyback. They cost him about 300 gold, so a little expensive for an early support here, especially when you're playing a Sand King. You really do need to pick up Arcanes before you can be mana efficient, so that's going to cost them quite a bit. We have an Invisibility Rune on Visage, and they're thinking about diving once again. Ice out of mana. XY is here as well. He got more kills in the team fight, and they're going to spot all the enemies. They're actually pinging on this. I think they can see with the sentry. Yep, there's the laser. Here comes the missile. Great blocking from Ice. That was super sick. Trying to keep him within range of the sentry. And the missile, will it get him? Don't think so. Oh, it does. Dude, that was like 3 damage difference. That was so close.
Yeah, it's the minimum amount he needed. I also want to point out, Gravekeeper's Cloak is a ridiculous escape mechanism.
Yeah.
You don't think, or not Gravekeeper's Cloak, Grave Chill. That slow and the move speed increase you get makes it very hard to chase a Visage. And he had great bird micro there, but in the end, well, the Observer Ward giving them the vision they need, they are able to find the kill.
So 6-5 at the moment. Pretty good team fight.
It's actually a dire ward, but I guess they just had vision because it is daytime.
It was the sentry. Maybe it was creeps. That's a good point. I don't know what gave him the vision there.
I think he was like over here when the rocket actually went out and just ran really fast.
Yeah, that's probably right. So
my eyes deceived me.
Man, Tinker's already up to 1,600 gold from his Boots of Travel. He is really doing well. And this could get scary really, really fast for Orange. If he gets Blink Dagger, and then either, I don't know if he's going to go the Dagon build, like Dagon 5 or something, with an Ethereal Blade is actually a completely viable Tinker build. You don't get as much Disable, and they might want Disable instead to counter a BKB hero like Luna, but if you can get a Dagon pretty fast with a Blink Dagger or something like that, you can actually do a ton of burst damage in short periods of time.
Yeah, XY's, he goes Dagon on Morphling. along with Ethereal Blade. He's not afraid
Really?
to go for a Dagon, especially on Tinker, but first order of business will be the Blink Dagger for him. Force Staff will be okay this game, but the better split pushing item is generally the Blink Dagger, so I expect we'll see him go for that, and for Zenith, they'll just try and stall this game out. RNG Sports, they have a Beastmaster Chen Prophet. That's a great pushing lineup. You throw Visage Familiars on top of it, they should be able to take all the tier 1s by this point in the game, certainly in the next 2 to 3 minutes, but it's just hard to push into March. It's hard to push into the... There's going to be a mech soon on Ice. Zenith just have such a good defensive lineup, like we talked about in the draft, and, well, Orange, they're going to beat their head against what could be a brick wall yet again. They're all rotating bottom.
Well, in the meantime, the Gyrocopter's pushing the top lane with help from Ice. That's going to go down. That'll be just about the mech completed.
They're diving.
All the way, and here comes the dive on the bot lane. Sprout starting things off. Freedom running for his life. He does have a Chen heal, though, but he's getting his Centaurs in position. First stun, second stun on X. Perfect micro so far. This is a test of faith. Great solo kill from Freedom. Puts the heal down. Eclipse as well on the Gyro, but Gyro's in trouble. Missile comes through, though, and that's going to be Mushi going down for sure. Great 2 kills thus far. Can they kill the birds as well? Those might survive, but, man, great fight from them.
It's really hard to fight into this lineup. It's really, really hard to fight into this lineup. You are diving into Fissure. They don't actually have the mech yet, but it's now available on Ice. And getting the Blink Dagger this fast for XY, Orange, they have a decent lineup to gank him in theory with Beastmaster and Prophet. These are 2 of the better heroes to gank a Blink Dagger Tinker, but you really want to Hex on the Prophet to make that happen. Ohio, Sacrificial Lamb off lane, nowhere near a Hex. KYXY getting close to an Ags. I just haven't felt like he's been able to do enough yet this game. 3-0 and 2, it's decent, but it's not his job just to find kills, Kevin. It's to get towers on top of that, and they just have not been able to do it. Zenith's still holding on to their outer towers. They're actually leading by gold, nearly 2,000 at that, 2,500 experience lead. I said it, and I'll stick to it. If Zenith convincingly win the first 20 minutes, the game's over. If it's even, it's going to be harder for Orange than it is for Zenith, and I would say it favors Zenith heavily if it goes 40, 50 minutes, and, well, it's still favoring them right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, Orange is doing their best to try to get map control. We're seeing Teep on the mid lane. There's a call down as well. Sprout, but man, he is taking a ton of damage here, and there's the creeps as well. Will he be able to get him? The mech's going to keep him alive. Great mech from the Darks here, but he still does fall. So still not the best situation.
XY's going to TP and blinks forward. Once Extinct, can he get him? Not quite enough damage, but the march is there. Extinct's probably going to fall one last machine. He can't do it. Now XY on the run. He's going to find a haste rune as well. Surged away to safety by Ice. That support play. Mega kill for XY. Frankly, I'm shocked that Orange let this hero through because they've played Zenith a lot. They've played them long enough to know better, but they give away the XY Tinker, and they are really hurting as a result.
Yeah, the early ganks to try to shut them down just were not successful, and they put a lot of effort into that as well. They are doing some dewarding at least. There was a gem purchased by Beastmaster quite a while ago. I don't think that's turned over yet. I saw Sand King using it. Yeah, he's got that picked up again, so he's going to try to go deward some more and try to get some map control. If they would open up this jungle, though, just imagine what they could have done. Beastmaster has a couple levels in the Call of the Wild now. They could have done jungle ganking or something like that. He's going for an Aghanims as well, but... man, they just don't have any opportunities to try to shut down Zenith's farm at the moment.
Orange just aren't that mobile. Ultimately, the familiars, you can't teleport those around. Beastmaster, he's got long initiation range once the Ags is complete, and he's got a lot of scouting abilities with the Hawk, but he doesn't have boots of travel. He doesn't have a lot of mobility. It's just flat out hard to keep up with a Darkseer and a Tinker with a Blink Dagger. I feel they're just getting outmaneuvered right now, and it's what happens if you don't convincingly win the laning stage against this kind of lineup.
Well, let's see if they can do something about it. We're actually seeing a smoke out of Zenith at the moment. Their creeps are coming through. They're going to be covering the Gyrocopter, who's been ganked almost constantly thus far in this game. He's missing 600 gold for his BKB, and I'm sure he really, really wants this thing, because the nuke damage coming out of Orange is a very, very large component of their damage, including Roar, Eclipse, and Loosened Beams.
Yeah, if he gets a BKB, Mushi, sure, he's got his Lunar Blessing. It's decent physical damage, but and of course all the heroes will benefit from it, but end of the day, it's not going to be enough to just insta-gib a Gyro. He gets off his cooldown. He'll get off most, if not all, of his flat cannon procs, probably. And, well, if he dies after that, that's where XY comes in and cleans up. So, for Zenith, they'll sit back and just continue to farm and play this one safe. There is no timer for them. There's no sense of urgency. They don't have to rush this. Farm the jungle, keep defensive wards up. If they want to take fights, maybe they can, but it's Orange who are going to force the issue. They're smoked up. They'll head into the Radiant jungle here and might catch Yamate.
Yeah, particularly the vision, they definitely can see him here. There's the Roar to start things off. Great defensive fissure. It's going to keep him blocked off, and Chen is going to send back Gyrocopter. If they can stop the team fight now, he's actually going to pay for this with his life, but the Echo Slam coming in is going to be huge. Oh my gosh, the damage on net as well as Axis so much. Can Sand King even get a Burrow Strike off? He's able to Burrow Strike. Axis come through. There's the Eclipse cleaning up, and Orange turns it around. just quite a bit. Gyrocopter trying to take out KYXY, and he gets him.
XY buys back. He wants to rejoin the fight, but he has nowhere to TP into. Yes, he does. Chen creeps are there. Will he blink forward? The Chen creeps blocking him. Get out of my way, he says. And now he has the opportunity. They'll actually smoke to give chase. Blinking forward, finds the rocket angle. Perfect timing. Now the laser as well. Mushi is going to fall in the end. Zenith, they are forced to use a buyback there, but they get 4 of their own. An absolute bloodbath in the Radiant jungle, but end of the day, actually seems like it favors Zenith. Even if that was fairly even with the buyback, they're fine to make even trades, but what a ridiculous fight. That was such a sexy Echo Slam. My goodness.
It really was. Like, the fight had swings both ways. I was like, okay, Gyrocopters jumped on, then he got sent back, and I was like, okay, they're fine. And then Chen was killed almost immediately. I was like, okay, not good for Zenith. And then that fissure into the Echo Slam was just ridiculous. They, especially on the 2 supports, those are the 2 best heroes to do a ton of damage to you immediately, get them so low. He didn't even have a chance to do an epicenter. He got 1 burrow strike off and it was over, and then all of a sudden Luna showed up, dropped the Eclipse, picked off the enemy carry and the Tinker. So
the big winner in that fight was Yamate. Sent back by X-Freedom at the beginning of the fight, got his BKB at base, TP's back, rejoins the fight with the BKB. He did use the 10-second charge, but you look at his net worth, he didn't even have the BKB at the start of that fight. He comes back, has BKB, all of a sudden 1,800 gold. He really comes out on top there, and sure, Tinker dies and buys back, but hey, he's still up to 2,200 gold. Sight Device is not far off, and then it gets very dicey for Orange. They're not that mobile, and they need to be ahead in farm to take this game as it goes later, and to do that, you got to be aggressive with your farming. Farming the lanes past the river, farming the enemy jungle. That's where Sight Device Tinker will really punish you.
Yep, and they're doing that a little bit. The Hawk is obviously continuously scouting for enemy camps, trying to see enemy mobility. If we take a look at Orange's vision at the moment, it is going to spot most of these support heroes. They do see that the Earthshaker is in position. They also have an Observer Ward, great laning Observer Ward here, placed down by Net undoubtedly, and he's actually hiding there with the bats. They want to set up a kill, but he's a little bit no man's land. But he could come from the back and maybe get a backstep off while the team fight happens.
Tinker just TP'd mid. This could be a decent opportunity to strike, but you're going into a BKB gyro. You have to be very confident about your initiation to take this fight. And it's a lot of time that Sandking Net is wasting not farming, not getting closer to his Blink Dagger. I don't know if Orange really want to fight this. If they let Zenith get to their tower, then they start spamming March, and then it's hard to fight into that either, and suddenly your own base becomes difficult to fight. But actually Tinker TP's top lane, and, well, RNG Sports, I don't think they can really take this fight at their tower.
Man, Flat Cannon just shredding. The Nature's Prophet creeps. He's going to get sent back, actually, and Ice sprints in. Will they take the tower? They're going to pop the glyph. They need to stop things now. There's the roar on Ice, but is it a little too early here? I don't think that's going to accomplish anything. Actually, XY blinks forward, throws the missile through. KYXY in some trouble. Vacuum whiffs everything. Doesn't catch anybody there. The laser finishes off the Beastmaster, and they're trying to kill the bats as well. X running for his life. Nature's Prophet running as well. He's got full soul assumption charges, but the BKB Gyro is on the chase. I think he's going to be able to get this kill, and they do. In the back of the fight, Net able to burrow strike on Freedom as well. Will he go down, taking some right clicks?
Uh-oh. That's a big test of faith.
Wow.
Wowza. He sat there behind the tree line the entire fight. He just couldn't find an opening to go in. Mushi was sitting to the left of the fight near the Dire Secret Shop, looking for an Eclipse. Couldn't find one. They had their 2 biggest team fight heroes, Sand King as well as Luna. At this point in the game, that's most of your damage, most of your AoE. Eclipse isn't technically AoE, but it's so many nukes that it might as well be. They didn't do anything. They couldn't take the fight. And again, if you let Zenith set up shop, you can't fight into March. And who do you go on? You go on Darkseer. He's tanky. He's got a pipe and a mech now. Chen can send him back if it really gets dicey. You go on Gyro. He's got BKB. And, of course, there's a Chen to keep him safe. Tinker's very elusive in the fights, and Earthshaker sits far back. Who do you go on? And if you don't go on anybody, then they just take your towers. Zenith can just whittle away here. Strategically, this game for Orange was just all about the early to mid-game pushing and then snowballing from there, but they just haven't been able to find it. Still the Tier 1 stands mid, still it stands bottom. Zenith are playing really well.
Yeah, I really love that they're not just playing a passive game like I expected when we saw the Tinker pick originally. They're just going for pushing, they're taking towers, and they're team fighting. It's 23 minutes in, and they're being super aggressive. Tinker does pick up an ultimate orb, though, so we will definitely see a sheep out of him. So we will see some chained hexing on possible players like Mushi.
Oh, Ohio's actually invis, but they scout him out the dust, and now he's in trouble. No, the Enchant Totem's going to miss. Could have echoed for the kill. The last flak proc will bring him down. My goodness, but Zenith just continue to find kills around the map. This is where Orange should be. They should be the aggressors, but they're forced into a defensive position.
Well, they're still pushing mid a bit. We have one orange person bottom. This is going to be XY. He's going to stop the push, and then he's going to show up mid, possibly TPing back to base first. And That is where he's going to go. The mid push has started. Some damage to the tower, axes to pull the creeps back, but if the roar happens like the last fight, things are just not going to be good for Orange. They really need to coordinate all of their team fight abilities at the same time, and a lot of their core items are not finished yet. No mech on Visage. Sand King doesn't have Arcane Boots. He doesn't have a Blink Dagger. The items from Beastmaster is 400 gold away, but I don't think they're going to have it for the fight here.
The worst part is they have no one to build a pipe. I mean, maybe Visage builds one at the 40-50 minute mark, but until then, March of the Machines ruins you in these fights, and mech is just not enough to deal with it.
Yeah, even with a pipe, March is still really, really scary to deal with.
Mushi's looking to backstab here. He's got Eclipse ready. I don't think the Radiant actually know. This could be an opening, but it's just so hard to take this fight. It has to be perfect, and they can't find the opening. Yamate takes the tower. They back off. Big items are coming soon for Zenith. Yamate is very close to a Butterfly Ice. Not even that far off of a Blink Dagger. For a 5-position Earthshaker, this is pretty decent. And he's really been forced to play a lot of support. X-Freedom is a 4-staff. Nice pickups for him. And I think the other big one is Tinker, very close to a Scythe of Ice. We might see a fight mid now.
Mushi's so ready to fight this. They actually completely scattered out the smoke. There's a Burrow Strike. Fisssure's going to stop him. Net running for his life. Great Centaur Stun. Awesome Micro on him. Net probably will drop. No vision on him. Oh, man. Nature's Prophet runs for his life.
Where's the dust? They don't have any. But he still finds the kill on the retreating Sand King in the end. He came out of Sandstorm. Won't be able to escape. Now Ice charging in. The Fissure is there. Yet again, this one not the best, though. The Familiar's bringing him low. 4-staff from Chen to try and keep him safe. Sent back. X-Freedom showing off. I'm the best Chen player, Extinct. That's what he says. Extinct's probably scratching his head right now. But Zenith, take another fight.
Really sick, Chen, so far. The great send back and obviously the awesome Centaur stun that started off the team fight. I mean, there was a Burrow Strike from the Sand King, but the Fissure followed up that Centaur stun, really allowed them a chance to force the fight, and got a couple kills out of it. So,
you know, the way this game's developing, Orange are not going to be able to leave their base in about the next 5 minutes. Once Tinker has a Scythe of Ice, they can just kill you from pretty much anywhere. Tinker can solo kill not all of these heroes, but quite a few. Here, like the Prophet, if there's anyone else there, we'll definitely be able to kill him. Visage, not that tanky right now, does have the mech, but if you scythe him before he gets it off, he's pretty squishy too. And Sand King, 1,000 health. There's nobody who's super durable aside from Mushi with the BKB, but even then, only 1,200 health. It's hard to leave the base, and you can't really win by sitting in your base if you're Orange. They have a good turtle lineup, but a decent turtle lineup. But with Prophet, you can stall the game, but it's the question is stalling it to what end? And I just don't think as this goes later, their odds will improve. Yeah,
I definitely agree with that. I mean, all their supports are still not having their items up. The Aghanim Scepter is going to be finished for Beastmaster now, so at least he's got that. But it'll just give him a longer initiation range. You can possibly jump on more out-of-position heroes. But the Hex on Tinker,
oh boy,
so hard to deal with.
27-minute Hex, Blink, Boots of Travel, and we're going to see a fight top right now. In comes Yamate. BKB is there. Net burrows through, but it's not going to connect because of the well-timed BKB. That's a lot of flat cannon damage. Giving chase. Butterfly is online. The BKB does wear off, but Extinct forced to Grave Chill and then just run away. But from the backside, oh, is that Mushi coming in? XY throwing out the rockets. Extinct's going to melt. Mushi not really able to do a whole lot here. KYXY on the run. They vacuum 2 back in. Ohio, well, the missile's chasing Mushi back to base, I believe, and Ohio forced the TP out. Fissure's going to find him. Blinking forward. Scythe is there. Another kill. 4 dead. Mushi, he popped BKB, and then he just ran. That is a sign that your team is royally screwed, and they'll GG.
They just couldn't find any ground here. The team fights kept getting won by Zenith, and they just continued to stomp. I mean, no ganks came that were effective on Tinker. He continued to get a ton of kills and a ton of farm. The rest of their heroes just did awesome. They got their core items up, and Orange was not able to do the same. I mean, the BKB on Luna was up at a reasonable time, and Nature's Prophet got his Shadow Blade at an okay time, but every single time that they dove the bot lane, they never got anything really, really good out of it. And I think that hurt their chances of winning this game completely. They threw so much on it, but they never got anything out of it.
Yeah, for Zenith, I mean, their lineup was greedy. They had 3 heroes that wanted to use the jungle. Earthshaker for pulls, at least to a certain extent. Darkseer just to farm there when he couldn't be in the off lane. And then Chen to farm. And Orange, I like how they tried to use the Prophet to shut them down, but the alternative would have been you started with Sand King Visage, get a strong tri-lane here, and go aggressive tri-lane, instead of what they did, which was just trying to trade. When you trade with Zenith, when they have this kind of a lineup, that just doesn't work. I think you can get away with the trades if it's not such a ridiculous late-game lineup. For me, I think the Tinker is the linchpin of the strategy for Zenith. If you remove the Tinker from the equation, you can still go late with this kind of lineup, but XY is just ridiculously good at this hero.
Yeah, and the amount of control that he gives in team fights as well just does so much because he can drop the March down. They had a slight gold advantage, not a massive amount, but they just put the March down. They covered a whole bunch of area, and it just forced Orange, with their heroes that couldn't really initiate that well, just forced them into a really bad situation. They either had to run into March and try to team fight that way, or pretty much die. And a lot of they were trying to do these like backstab things constantly with Sand King coming from the backside, or Luna swinging around, or Nature's Prophet doing aggressive TPs, but it just didn't do quite enough. So that's going to be game 1, guys. Zenith takes game 1 of this best of 2 against Orange. So this is the first game of Group B. I hope you guys are excited for all the games tonight. Let's see what you guys have to say on the panel.
Well, hello there.
Hello.
Welcome back. Zenith, getting the XY Tinker, such a signature hero for him, and exploiting the hell out of it. Honestly, how do you fight into that lineup? If you don't win the laning stage, it's just impossible.
Yeah, it's one of those things that when you play against a Tinker, you know the game is going to be drag out. It's going to be difficult to push.
Right.
It's really difficult because if you want to take a fight, you're going to have to do it under multiple marches, and doing something, I mean, XY is so like fluid with his Tinker.
Yeah.
I think knowing that it's not a hero that most teams will ban, but knowing that's one of his favorite heroes, I mean, you guys had Tinker, 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 right?
That was me taking some artistic liberties, I guess you could say.
But when you know something like that is going to happen, you at least have to like consider banning it or taking it out.
Yeah, and Orange have lost to his Tinker a lot. They're one of, you know, these two teams are two of the top teams in Southeast Asia. They play each other all the time, so he knows that they know that he plays
it's
Tinker.
Not even like a surprise pocket pick. It's like well, we're probably going to do this because
this is like at the International too. It's the Chinese teams playing against Na'Vi. You ban Purge because he's beating everyone on land with Purge, and well, they did that, and in the end, it worked out.
Yeah, I'd like to see more targeted bans this game.
Yeah,
maybe take out some of the heroes that Zenith are more comfortable with. I really expected Orange to kind of come out on top of this, especially with the lineup that they had. I mean, they had such an aggressive lineup. They had the Sand King, the Visage, but they just weren't able to execute as smoothly as I think they wanted to, especially since you're diving against heroes like Tinker. It makes it really difficult.
I feel like it also really hurt them that they had Visage Sand King and they didn't try lane aggressively because they didn't have good roaming supports. Like, you have Visage Sand King, you can't go gank Tinker with that.
Yeah, and on top of the fact that Sand King, it's a little difficult because he seems like an aggressive hero, but at the same time, the level 1 stun, even the level 2 stun is so poor, the distance on it, you actually almost need boots or a hero to initiate in first to actually land the stun.
So if you're RNG Sports going into game 2, it sounds like your like number 1 on your priority list is target your bans. Don't just ban what you normally ban. Ban what Zenith are really good at.
Yeah, I think that's what you try to do. Maybe be a little more even with your picks and just try to play a more stable style where, I don't know, it felt like that game was just kind of sloppy by Orange.
Yeah, and I like Mushi mid. I feel like that's just the best style for RNG Sports. KYXY, Ohio, they're both good at the solo role. They're good in the laning stage, but I feel like Mushi he's that player who just says, all right, I'm going to make a play now. Sort of like what RTK does for DK. They didn't have that, and, well, it kind of hurt them in that game. And it's tough on the Beastmaster to really make things happen end of the day. That hero it's fantastic if your movement is right, but Zenith just anticipated every movement almost perfectly.
Yeah, it's one of those heroes that really you need to snowball with your roar and then get a few team fights going and then push down towers with your aura.
Yeah.
Use the Hawk to kind of establish map control, but if you're not able to do that early, it really feels like that hero just kind of plummets in terms of effectiveness.
So Orange, if you're listening to us right now, ban Tinker, pick Mushi a snowball hero mid, and you got it. You'll take game 2.
Yeah, I think they definitely can, especially since they're just as talented, in my opinion.
Well, we'll find out, guys. That's game 1. It's a wrap. We'll be right back after these messages with game 2. It's the Alienware Cup, brought to you, of course, by Alienware and MasterCard, as well as DPM Interactive. Stay tuned.